What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Today's video is going to be Dark Crisis issue number 2, the big DC Comics event of the year. What they weren't really calling a crisis in the beginning. There is no doubt that this is their new crisis. Now, usually I have these videos out much sooner than I have today, but a couple days ago, found out, tested positive for COVID, and I have just been in and out of it, fever, all that good stuff, but I am feeling a lot better. I read a lot of your comments. I appreciate all of the kind words and the support. And while I probably could get a little bit more rest, the truth is this week's comics from both Marvel and DC are gonna be absolutely phenomenal. When it comes to the Dark Crisis story, the last thing we saw with Deathstroke and his secret society, the new organization that he created, you can check all of that out in Deathstroke Incorporated, but they are making their assault on Titan's Tower. Now, be sure that you subscribe to the channel, you've liked this video, buy the comic, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we jump into Dark Crisis issue number 2, we are picking up with Pariah. Pariah has had such a hard time living with everything that has happened. Infinite worlds, infinite people, all of them wiped out from existence. But this is when Pariah, he hears the voice calling to him from the darkness. That voice, it offered him a second chance to restore not only the life that he lost, but also infinite Earths. To bring everything back, everything that has been destroyed, that has been wiped from existence. This comes at the cost of one Earth. That Earth being Earth 0. It has to be destroyed for them to bring back everything. And while the Justice League sacrifice may have slowed them down, the truth is, it is only a matter of time before this new crisis comes down on Earth 0. And that's what takes us to Titan's Tower. We have Nightwing, who has been knocked unconscious in this fight. As they drag him in, not really sure what the heck that they are going to do. This is when Dick Grayson, he wakes up. But it doesn't take long for them to find Deathstroke and his entire army. And the sad truth, Titan's Tower never stood a chance. Raven unable to do anything. Roy Harper being captured. It doesn't take long for the Secret Society to overwhelm and capture almost everybody. I will say, I think it is absolute garbage that Raven is able to be captured, but we're gonna go with it. This is when Deathstroke, he lets them know that they have already lost. That if this is the next generation, they are able to be taken over by one surprise attack. He believes that they are unworthy from the get-go. But his attack is not just on Titan's Tower. He is hitting places all across the globe, having individuals like Yara Flor, Aqualad, Firestorm, Damian, Supergirl, all of these individuals in their crosshairs. Because the fact that the Justice League is dead, Slade knows that somebody is going to try to step up, and that is exactly why he came here. He wants to ensure that nobody is filling that spot, that nobody is going to be the new Justice League. That's when they bring out Beast Boy. Slade had put a bullet into his head, doing an experiment to see if his brain is actually in his head. With him being a shapeshifter, there's a possibility that his organs, his brain, all of this stuff is going to be in different spots. That he has the possibility of moving his brain to a different spot. And so while Beast Boy has a bullet in his head, he is still going to live. But Deathstroke has come to prove a point today. He could kill every single last person in this room, and nobody would care. But Dick, the prodigal son, the chosen one, everyone would care for his death. This is where we see the battle between Deathstroke and Nightwing, because Deathstroke wants everybody to watch. They want to watch as the Golden Boy falls. Without wasting any time, we see the two of them clash together as Nightwing is able to get the upper hand. Slade lets him know that he won the first round, but now that we go into round 2, who should they pick to fight against Deathstroke? Not wanting to sacrifice any of his friends, friends. This is when Nightwing, he asked one question: if you kill me, will you let everybody go? Deathstroke saying that that was always the point. Dick Grayson was always the trophy, that he wouldn't waste his time on anybody else. Nightwing telling Deathstroke to get this over with. Do what you have to do. Deathstroke raising his staff that is also a gun. With it going off, that bullet goes through the air. In the blink of an eye, we see Jonathan Kent. Our Superman has arrived on scene. This gives them a small glimmer of hope, a belief that they might actually be able to make it through this. As the tides of this battle begin to turn, the truth is, Deathstroke expected Jonathan Kent. In fact, he even brought in something that is going to help him out. This is when we have the arrival of Cyborg Superman. With Cyborg Superman getting on scene, he goes directly for Jonathan Kent, and he lays a beatdown on this kid. And so while Jonathan and Cyborg Superman are going at one another, Nightwing is trying to figure out what Slade Wilson is truly playing at. He lets him know that this is bigger than them. They have lost so much misery. At this point, he just wants to put a stop to all of it. While having this conversation, this is where the darkness calls out to Deathstroke. Now, you guys know that I theorized the Lazarus pits that Deathstroke was put into, they had been corrupted, and this is why Ra's al Ghul didn't use it to resurrect himself, bring himself back to life. This is why he stopped using them altogether. Because Ra's al Ghul, well, he didn't fully understand it just yet. He knew that there was something off about the pits. What he didn't know is that the darkness was trying to get to him, to use Ra's al Ghul like he is now using Deathstroke. Pariah is the one pulling all of the strings. And he lets Slade Wilson know that they don't need to kill the heroes. In fact, they need to be left alive. His only job is to sow chaos, to create a crisis, and to bring the Dark Army to their doorsteps. Our heroes, they have no idea what the Great Darkness is or what is truly coming. And so Nightwing, he's really trying to figure out what the heck is going on with Slade, letting him know that he got new orders in. And while they are sparing him this day, this is just the beginning. From here, it gets tremendously harder for them. Legacy is dead. It is now open season on superheroes. And if there are any survivors, they will be turned over to the darkness. With Deathstroke and his forces taking their leave, Superman and Cyborg Superman are still fighting up in the air as they come crashing down to Earth. Both of them have taken one heck of a beating. Lucky for them, this is where we have the arrival of Cyborg, putting his heel down onto Henshaw's head, crushing the Cyborg Superman skull. They look around at all of the destruction, at all of the chaos. And this is where we see Black Adam telling the son of Kal-El that he was not ready to lead the Justice League, but says that he was wrong about Nightwing. Deathstroke may have led this attack, but this blame, this tragedy, it falls at Nightwing's feet, with Superman letting him know, if you are so great, if you are so much better at this, first of all, why weren't you here? Second of all, why don't you lead the Justice League? And that is exactly what Black Adam intends to do. Deathstroke's forces, they laid siege to his home as well, with attacks going worldwide. He believes that he has no choice but to do this. The burden of leadership, it rests on his shoulders. He promises that he is going to turn them into the protectors that they need to be. This is when we pick up in deep space. And we have our boy, Kyle Rayner, looking to be like he is making his escape from whatever is holding him prisoner. As he makes his escape, this is when he runs into Hal Jordan and Joe, giving Hal Jordan a huge hug and introducing himself to Joe, trying to fill him in on everything that has been going on. Hal Jordan lets him know this is a good news, bad news situation. Now the good news, Guy Gardner was already looking for him. The bad news is that the Justice League is dead, letting him know that Pariah created a dark army composed of the greatest enemies, and the Justice League stop them from invading their planet. With Black Adam being the only survivor, he claims the Justice League has died. With Wally West and all of the other speedsters, they are on the search for Barry Allen. They're gonna go face off for whoever is responsible for doing this. Now, if they were able to take down the Justice League, they are gonna need more than just a few Green Lanterns. And Hal Jordan, he definitely brought in some backup, seeing dozens of Green Lanterns. This fight is about to get underway. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, I really wasn't excited for a new Crisis, but I have to say that this has been a lot of fun. That Nightwing versus Deathstroke, absolutely phenomenal fight. One that Nightwing, he might have won. If the Secret Society wasn't there, there's a possibility that Nightwing could have won this fight. The problem is, when round 1 was over, Deathstroke tried getting somebody else. Tried having Nightwing pick who was going to go against Deathstroke. Because of this, he tried sacrificing himself. The most Nightwing thing to ever happen. Lucky for him, that's where we see Jonathan Kent come in and save the day. And I'm really excited because we get to see Cyborg Superman. This is just one thing that we get to see. The Darkness, Pariah, they have gathered the worst of the worst. And I'm really excited to see who they're going to be bringing up. We're finally getting some Kyle Rayner, some Guy Gardner, we're getting all of our Green Lanterns. It has so much potential because of all the characters that you can bring together. Not only that, the villains that you can bring together. I'm curious if we're gonna see the arrival of Superboy Prime. That would be very interesting to see, and I would love to see how they would handle that situation. And then we have Black Adam coming in, letting them all know that they just did horribly bad, and that he is going to train them to be the heroes that they need to be to fight off this war. If Black Adam is going to be the mentor, how much brutality are we really going to see here? Because Black Adam, he is not one to pull punches. With the fate of everything currently at stake, we can only assume that he is going to be much more brutal. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you are trying to get caught up on everything that has been going on, to include all of the tie-ins, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the Super Thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and until the next breakdown.